So welcome, everyone. Um, I'm going to start today with a couple of quotes out of my little year of living your yoga, my little yoga book by Judith Hanson Lassiter. And I just like these so much. And that I'm going to read for 2 days, even though it's not today's quote. It's from July 30th and August 1st. So July 30th. Scientists tell us that what we perceive very little of the Science tell us that we perceive very little of the reality around us. Today, cultivate the understanding that you do not have the whole picture about everything. Breathe in humility. Breathe out compassion. And it's kind of interesting because most of these don't start with scientists say, but the next one does that I'm going to read to you. Scientists say that most of our mind is unconscious. For today, know that your thoughts do not totally reflect what is alive in you. Be willing to lovingly distrust your thoughts. I find that very helpful sometimes, especially when I go into a little bit of judgment. Who, me, judge? Anyway, so let's see. So how are we going to start today? Let's start since I'm standing and I see some people standing as well. Let's just start standing and just sway. Just doing a little sway here. So feeling like you're just swaying around that amazing spine of ours. And you can let your arms first maybe rest at your sides or just move with the sway and not move themselves at all. See if you can detect the difference. That can be very subtle. Then maybe bring a little movement into your arms by bending your elbows and tapping perhaps the kidneys, or the liver and spleen. There's a lung meridian up by your shoulders. Actually, right above your armpit is where the lung meridian is, so a little bit inward. And then we'll just slow it down, slow it down. And actually, from here, we're going to come onto our yoga mats. Come to our yoga mats with the chair. And I just like to have a chair on my yoga mat sometimes, although I'm not, so this doesn't get so slippery. And we'll just use this chair to stretch out our back a little bit, just to warm up, just gently warm up. Just a nice gentle, stretch back. And then come on up, walk in, and then we can use the chair to help us go laterally to one side, and then laterally to the other, although we really don't need the chair so much here. And then come on back, and we'll do let's work up to this, to opening up our hips. So first, we'll just sort of round our hips around and around. So first put your hands on your hips and just sway them around so that you really feel that your body is almost floating over those the femurs, the head of the femurs. It's a ball and socket joint there. We're just going around and around and then reverse directions. And with the idea that your movement is just fluid and easy. You keep your hands on your hips or the small of your back. And open up the hips. And then you can have the chair by you for balance. And maybe just bring up the leg. One leg.
How do I get this on?
I thought I muted everyone. Mute. mute. Here we go. Okay. So open up one hip and go around and around and around, and then the other. And if you can do this without holding on to something, great, because it's helping your balance a little bit. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side, just like I said, to really open up the hips, going around in one direction. And then reversing. And your standing leg, try as much as you can to keep it soft. The knee a little bit soft, not rigid. And then, so hopefully, okay, and then we'll just move our hips. So we really get a little bit of feeling that we're loosening up our hips. And so from here, maybe we're ready now to go into our pigeon pose. So bring one leg on up. Always, you can build up from the seat of your chair, or you can come up to the top of your chair and, find the level, the comfortable level for you. And that's true of everything that we do. Stay within your own comfort zone. So from here, make sure, again, the standing leg is not locked, but there's just maybe some softness at the knee joint. And then from here, let's actually lift our arms up and just gently go back, not too far. So there's a little bit of a back bend. There's a little bit of a contraction through your back, but not much. You're opening in the front body. Then come straight, look straight ahead. Let your hands come down and rest on your shin, your lower leg, or wherever it feels comfortable. And then hinging from those hips, hinging from the groin, so the pelvis is moving the body, come forward just as far as it is that you can keep that back straight. So you really tune into your body and notice what's going on in your body. Just feel a connection between the crown of your head and your tailbone. Let your shoulders relax and your facial muscles relax. And then on your next exhale, maybe you can start rounding your back and come a little bit farther forward over that front leg. And now just totally relax your head. So the chin is coming into your chest and your shoulders are easy or are loose. Take 2 more breaths in this pose. And then inhale and come on up, slow and easy, and release it all down. Okay, and so we'll do the other side. I'm going to come on over this way. So we'll bring the other leg up, and it really doesn't matter. Obviously, you want to do the opposite leg. And again, be really mindful of that straight leg. There's such a tendency, I think, especially when we're standing just on one leg, to really lock that leg. So let it be gentle. And so again, if you'd like, you can bring your arms up, straight up, and just a little tiny contraction in your back. It's a little bit between your middle back and lower back, looking up, but not too far, without definitely not dropping your head back. And then look forward, straight ahead. Let your arms come down. And then inhale, lift up again, and you can maybe put your hands on your pelvis to guide you, so that as you come over this front leg, your pelvis is moving your body, and your body is not bending at all. It stays totally straight first. So you might feel a connection between the crown of your head and your tailbone. And then perhaps and further around and down, with allowing your back to curve a bit. And tucking the chin into the chest. And then rolling on up. And then release that leg down. And let's just straighten out the legs again. Straighten out our back. Stretch out our back really gently. And if you want to lift up one leg, trying to keep the leg parallel to the ground. And then come on down just to open up the hips a bit. Then the other leg. And then come on down. And then we'll put the chair aside. So what I'm going to do here today, I think is, you might have already kind of guessed this, is we're going to mix up the yoga and the Tai Chi. So we have our chair close by. So, and we've worked out our hips. So let's go ahead and work out our knees in a different way than we usually do, where we'll just try to keep the thigh really still as you rotate that leg, that lower leg around your thigh. So you're really getting into the knee. And if you look down, perhaps you're making a circle with your toe. And then go the other way. And from a balance point of view, we'll work on the ankle. And you can hold on to your thigh, or you can let that foot come down. I'm holding it up so you can see, but wherever it feels comfortable. And again, make sure you're safe. We rotate around one way, and then the other. And we go up and down and up and down, side, 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 and shake it out. And so we'll do the same thing with the other leg. So first, grab hold behind the thigh and look down. Is your big toe, is your thigh still? And your big toe is making a big circle on the earth below you. One way, and then reverse directions. What are the colors though? What is the color of the paintbrush in that big toe? Beautiful blue, azure blue, reflecting the sky, looking like the ocean. And then come on back, and we'll rotate our foot around our ankle. One way, and then the other, and shake it on out. Nice. Just bringing, and you know what? I think maybe we need a little sway again. That lovely, lovely sway. And then come on gently back to center. We'll go from side to side. And I started with moving my arms, but perhaps you don't have to if you don't want to at first. So you really get that feeling of relaxation in your arms first. So when we lift up, when we go to the left, your left heel will lift up and your head will point to the left. So we're stretching out the right side, and then same on the other side. And then maybe we can, once we kind of feel it, but feel that the body is just so lovingly letting the arms move, getting the arms to move. The arms are moving in harmony with the body. Yay. And maybe you can bring it up higher if you'd like. And look up at your upper hand as you go back and forth. Like a really lovely dance. And then we'll slow it down. Back down. Yay, nice. Okay, so now let's come on to our mats. And we'll do a little bit of a flow here. I think I have to adjust my camera. Have your blanket close by if you need something for your knees, to protect your knees, because we'll come onto our hands and knees first. If you're on a rug like I am, you might not need this so much. And so what we'll work with here is our wrists. We're in kind of a similar way, except that we do when we're doing this, except we're going to do it with our mat. You know how we sometimes do that with our qigong? Okay, so first, we'll just focus on both wrists and just round our body around the wrists. So 3 times in one direction. I hope that makes sense. So it's almost like we're making a circle with our shoulders there. And 3 times in the other direction. And then we'll come forward and back, and forward and back, and forward and back. And now we're going to take one hand and turn it, and it doesn't matter which hand. So you're going to turn it in a way that feels right for you, so that your fingers are pointing towards your knee. And if you need to move a little bit closer, you can go ahead and do so, and just circle again around that wrist a little bit. Just 3 times in one way, and 3 times the other way. And then release that down, and we'll do the other hand. We'll come around, around one way. This is real. This gets more into the wrist, I think, or into the lower arm, I think, than the way we do it without the help of the mat. Okay, and then we'll come on up, and actually let's just kind of roll out our wrists to get a feeling of fluidity again back into our wrist. If you felt any tightness when you did that, I know I did. So so let's see. So from here, we'll inhale, just do a few of our lovely cat-cows. Inhale, belly to the ground. Exhale, rolling up. Inhale down, really coordinating beautiful breath with the body, with the movement, I should say. Well, inhale. Then come on back to our neutral position. Curl your back toes under and lift on up into our lovely downward dog. Very nice. And then from here, let's look on up at our hands and walk on up to our hands. And this time we're going to come up. When we come up, we usually come up with our arms out to the side. But this time, let's bring our hands into Namaste and come up with our hands out in front of us all the way up to the sky and then down into our heart. Got to readjust my camera here. Okay, so now from here, we'll do this. We'll lift our hands up in a similar way, coming straight up in Namaste, and then straight down, all the way down to our feet, and step back with your right foot and your left foot. Now from here, I'm going to give us all a moment to go through a little vinyasa if we'd like. We don't have to do this. We can stay in down dog, or we can go even into child's pose, but we'll just come all the way down through our plank and up into our cobra and back down. If you know, yogi's choice, and then coming back up into down dog. Now, from here, lift up your right leg, and this time bring it on the outside of your right hand, and come down. Bring your left knee down, and just come forward and back. Forward and back. Forward and back. And actually now keep your back toes curled under as when you come back. And we'll do that too one more time. Come back with the toes curled under. Just feel the difference there. And then bring this foot back and lift on up into down dog. And then we'll bring the left foot outside of the left hand with the right knee on the ground and go forward and back, or just the other way. If you get your right and left mixed up, forward and back, forward, back, and then curl the back toe under. And if it happened to be curled under the whole time, then flatten it. Get a different feeling here. And then the next time you come forward, step back, curl the toes under, and lift into down dog. Now from here, walk your feet up a little bit, but still you have that triangle thing of down dog. So your hands and feet are say 24 inches or so away from each other. Now take your right hand and bring it on the outside of your left leg. It could be, maybe you can grab hold of the heel, maybe not. But then perhaps, wherever it feels right for you, maybe grabbing hold of your calf muscle, or you have to come up a little higher, wherever, like I said, wherever it's comfortable for you, and then look under your arm. And take a couple of breaths here. And this nice twist. And slowly unwind, bring both hands together and come on over to the other side. So bring your left hand on the outside of your right heel, if you can grab it, or wherever you can. And you know what? If you can't quite reach your leg, it's okay to bring your hand just around and over to the right, that left hand, and then look under your right arm. So you get that twist and you feel that in your, that gentle twist in your back. Very nice. And then one back to that kind of almost half downward dog. And then walk your feet on up to your hands together, hands into the heart, and inhale all the way up. And down to your heart center. Yay. Okay, and so one more thing I'd like to do here, standing, having your feet about hip distance apart, and step straight back with your left, it doesn't matter which foot. My left foot is back. Okay, and then you can pull your hips in. And this is just a little bit of a variation of pyramid pose. So pull the hips forward and inhale, lift on up, and exhale, folding at the groin, come over that front leg. And you can let your hands slide down that front leg and rest in front of the foot or wherever they reach. And then maybe walk your hands, turn the fingers in towards the back foot, or just towards the back part of the mat, and bring your head in or your body in as close to your front leg as you can. And take a couple of breaths here. Perhaps you can flatten your hands. I cannot, but maybe some of us can. And just breathe here. Then from here, walk your hands up so they're by your front foot. And then bring your hand, up. Okay, my right foot is forward. I'm bringing my left hand to my shin, and then I'm going to turn towards the right and to another twist. I can take the upper arm and reach it to the sky. I can leave it on the hip, whatever feels comfortable for my body today. And then come on down Now from here, we're gonna turn a little bit, just a tiny little bit, and hop our back foot back and bring our hand onto our shin and keep pulling back, especially with the upper shoulder coming into triangle in a way we don't, in an atypical way of coming into triangle pose. I always think it's good to come into poses a little bit differently so that we don't become accustomed, so that we stay present with ourselves and then come on up out of it, arms all the way up and hands together. And then, I'm going to go in the opposite way and step forward, but that's not necessary. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. So now I have to remember which leg I have behind. So which leg I have in front. So we'll come on forward and step back. Let's see, with the right leg. And I think that's right. Yes. And the left leg, for me, it's the left leg in front and right leg in back. And then we'll do that, our pyramid variation. So lift up your heart. As you do this, before we do this, let's just check in with our bodies and make sure they're nice and relaxed. Hands on the hips. Inhale, lift on up, folding at the groin. Come on over that front leg. And you can even bring a little bit of a twist in this. Bringing your head towards the mid-thigh, or even all the way around that leg, all the way to the outside of that leg. And drop your hands down. And at first, the fingers will be pointing to the front of the mat. And then you're going to start walking your hands back behind your foot with the fingers pointing to the back of the mat. And you might find that this maybe gets your body a little bit closer to that front leg. So you might feel a little bit more of a stretch in the back, in the calf muscle and the hamstring. I do. Maybe you do and maybe you don't. It doesn't, we still are benefiting from this. And relax your head down. Nice. Now, walk your right hand, if your left foot is forward, walk your right hand by that front foot. And you can even rest your hand on your shin or even up a little higher if you know your own range of motion, as we do a little revolve triangle, turning to the left, trying as much as we can to stack our shoulders on top of each other. Can't hear me very well. And then we can bring this arm up over our head, or just keep it on the waist or the hip or the shoulder, wherever it feels right for you. And then we'll come on down. Come on down and walk ourselves towards the center of our mat, keeping our legs wide apart, but we're coming into triangle, and from lower instead of higher, the way we usually do. So I'd like to bring my left hand on my left leg and then lift up a little bit and stack the shoulders on top of each other. Bring that arm up over our head to our more traditional triangle pose. Breathe here and loosen up the neck. Loosen up the neck. And then press your feet into the mat and lift on up. And let's come on with both feet facing the wide edge of the mat. And take a nice breath, inhaling, and then folding at the groin. We'll go into a wide angle forward fold here. And just really release that neck. And the way I love to release the neck is pointing the crown of my head right towards the earth. And then let's bring our left hand to our right ankle and walk the right hand out in front so that we can really look under that arm. Get a nice twist here. And just breathe, of course. Inhale and exhale. And then we'll come back to center and pause for that breath so we really check in with our body, feel what's going on, be a witness. And then we'll bring the right hand over to the left leg, stretch out the left arm and look under that left arm. And release any tension you might have in your neck. And then come on back to a nice wide angle forward fold and release your head down and really just feel some nice letting go in your head and neck and shoulders. And then put your hands on the small of your back and press into the small of your back as you lift yourself on up. Slow and easy. Then we'll heel toe our feet in towards each other. And we'll just continue with working on our hands a little bit by tapping them because it's such a wonderful thing to do with our hands. Tap, 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 tap. About 9 times on both hands, the front, the back, the fingers and the thumb. And then between, whoops, well, yeah, we can do this. Between the webbing between the fingers, between each finger. And even as you're doing this, see if you can feel that the rest of your body is relaxed. The good old shoulders. Denny sent me a little email saying, did you notice that some of the swimmers were tapping in the Olympics? I think a lot, in some of the ways, these are just natural things that we do, right? It's kind of like a natural little massages that we give to ourselves, tapping ourselves. And I know there's a technique, a Traeger massage technique, I think it is. And they can use not just tapping, but rolling kind of like this. And I think there's a little gentle tapping. I had one done a really long time ago. I remember anyway. Just anything that we can do to kind of be loving to our body is just a great thing. So let's continue with this tapping idea. It's getting energy moving around. Energy is the chi or the prana. Getting the vital life force so that it can reach into every single cell of our bodies and just go where your hands want to go. If your hands aren't going in the same direction as mine, you go for it. It's almost like we can just tune in to our own intuition and take it from there. Maybe if we can really quiet our minds, our breath will direct our hands into where they need to go. So now, I think that no matter whether we're thinking about what good this is doing for us or not, it's helpful. Like even if we're thinking about other things. So like I said, I like to do my back and my tush and then come down the kidney channels. But if we can use our thoughts. It really keep the thoughts with our hands and what we're doing with our bodies. I think that might magnify the benefit. Keep the thoughts, knowing that we're bringing more harmony into our bodies. And we'll come on up and then get the groin. And then pumping energy into our hearts. Nice, okay. So let's come on sitting down into our chairs for a little bit so that we get our good old pelvic floor muscles working. And so first we'll just do the middle, the middle of the whole pelvic floor, I guess I should say. Well, of course, anything we do, but we're keeping our weight balanced. So take an inhale. Exhale, lift up that pelvic floor as high as you can. And then inhale, relax it down. And when you exhale, you can exhale through pursed lips. Lift, 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 and inhale down. 3 more times, lifting up and down, and lifting up, and down, and 1 more time, lifting up from this position and down. And now we can actually do this without any prop at all. We can just lift up one hip if we want. And no matter what we do, or we can come off to the side of our chair or prop one side of our tush up a little higher. So find the position that's right for you. But no matter what we do, as much as possible, we don't want to, like, I'm just not going to get as much out of it if I lean over, right? Or if I pull myself over, if I use my arms or hands. So just as little of any ancillary, I think is the word, ancillary muscles as possible. We'll do this. So my little tush is draping over the side of the chair. And so I'm going to exhale and lift it up. And inhale down. And you can even maybe take your hands off of your lap so that you're not tempted. Inhale down. Exhale up. Inhale down. Exhale up, inhale down, exhale up, I think that's 5 times, and inhale down. Okay, and then we'll scoot on over to the other side. I think these are so helpful, so helpful. I hope you all do too. And I wish I did them more frequently than I do. Somebody said that we should really focus on this, on lifting our pelvic floor throughout our day. When we're driving 2 times, inhale down, exhale up, 3, 4, inhale down, and exhale on up. Nice, okay. So last week we did a movement that we haven't done that for the first time, and I'd love to do it again because I just think it's such a lovely movement. And what it is we just start, we start with bringing the backs of our hands together and just lifting them up to around our face, and then turning them down and bringing them down around our chest level, and then they just circle out and come on back. And as you come up, I should have said to come to the front of your chair so that you have some movement, so your arms don't hit the back of your chair. So we just are going to go back and forth like this, being so relaxed, so relaxed. And then if you'd like to look to one side and look to the other, you can do that. I was saying last week, and I like to do this when I wake up in the morning. Okay, now come on, just in bed. Now come on, bring your hands forward and then look to the left and circle your hands around. I don't think I did that quite right. So we just go back and forth from side to side. So when our hands sweep around to the right, we're looking to the right. Our body is, and we're making just circles with our hands and bringing them right in towards our heart. Just circling around, with ease and grace. Nice. And then we're going to come back to center to doing the both hands out, circling around at the same time, the same way, both arms and hands. Nice. And then we're just going to let our hands rest on our knees. And you know, it's almost getting time to come down. But first, you know, what we'll be doing is bringing energy up into our bodies. And you can do it at any way that feels right for you, but just feel, maybe if your arms are really and hands are really relaxed, you can just feel that energy come into your body. And you know, I've heard that the chi is so wise. It knows exactly where to go. But if you have a particular area in your body, as you're bringing the chi in, you want to just mentally direct your thoughts and the chi to that area. That can work too. Gathering up all the love and light of the universe, the unconditional loving kindness of the universe. And just bring it into our body. And this unconditional love just brings us wonderful and beautiful health and well-being. And so this will be our last movement. And from here, we'll bring our left hand over our right, hold it into our dantian below our navel. And as you close your eyes and settle down for the last few minutes of class, we can do our shavasana, and you choose the position for yourself. It might be that you actually feel so comfortable sitting that you can relax completely into sitting, or you can come lying down onto your back. Whatever really feels wonderful for you. You know, you're in this body. So listen to our body. Take wonderful, wonderful care of ourselves, of our body. And as you are here, check in with yourself and see how you're feeling right now. Voice your breath. Does your breath feel comfortable? Probably your breath is slowing down. So you want to release your hands if they're on your dantian. You feel maybe a tingling in any areas of your body. Or any other sensation. Staying present with ourselves. Ease with every breath. Peace with every breath. Feel that sense of relaxation deep within. And let that relaxation go into every single cell, that peace, to every single cell of your body. And then you can stay in any position that feels right for you. Or if it's time for you to come out of Vrkshavasana, do so with the intention of maintaining this peace in your body. Just tuning into it often throughout the day. Knowing that this peace is always there underneath everything, start moving your hands and your feet, fingers and toes. And if you're lying down, or even sitting, maybe you can bring your knees one at a time into your chest. And finding yourself coming on up to a comfortable sitting position. Inhaling and exhaling. Feeling your sitting bones connect to the earth and the crown of the head connect to the sky. Your sitting bones are your feet actually connected to the earth. And just once again, tune into that beautiful, beautiful breath. An inhale and exhaling, maybe a little bit longer than the inhale. Inhale love into your body and exhale that love out to every single person you know. And one more time, we'll breathe it in and exhale, breathing love and peace all out. And we'll bring our hands into Namaste and thank you all so much. I love you so much. And Namaste again. Namaste, namaste, namaste. Loving kindness to us all. And I'm going to stop the recording.